The Canadian Space Agency is looking to hire 2 people to become astronauts in the Canadian Astronaut Corps. Over 4,000 people applied when the corps was first introduced in 1983, and a total of 12 astronauts have been selected over the history. Burlington native Matthew Bamsey is among the top 32 candidates for this year's campaign. Bamsey is the chief systems engineer of the Eden ISS project at the German Aerospace Center. There, he works with a team of scientists and engineers to develop a way to grow produce in space for long-term space missions. By doing so, astronauts will be able to produce their own oxygen, food, and water, 3 major components to traveling in space for long periods of time. Halton insider Shane Lansing spoke with Bamsey this morning via Skype so we can get to know this Burlington candidate a little bit better.
All right, thanks Matthew Bamsey for joining us here. So you're in this process right now, right? You're one of the top 32 candidates to become part of the Canada Space Agency. So before we get into your background and how you got there, tell me about the recruitment process and what you would be doing if you were selected.
So Shane, I have to say that the recruitment process thus far has been absolutely an incredible experience. And it's becoming more and more real because we've been waiting since we applied back in June of last year. And only a few months ago is the first time that the actual candidates have got together in person and been going through different tests. And I can tell you that the tests have been everything from mental testing to physical testing to combining those 2 things together to keeping us up more or less all night and seeing how we would do in quote-unquote emergency situations. So yeah, it's been a phenomenal experience, and I feel really fortunate and privileged to be a part of the experience thus far.
Okay, that's awesome. And so obviously that testing and stuff, it sounds like it would be pretty tough. Did you ever think that you would be doing this? Were you one of those kids that were making space shuttles out of like cardboard boxes at their house pretending to be Neil Armstrong or something like that? Or did this kind of come later on?
Personally, I've been actually quite lucky. Space has been my real passion throughout my career. I've been able to follow space both in my hobbies and professional life, which is good. And yes, I did grow up playing around with various video games. Some might know the game Wing Commander, and designing my own little ships on paper and then using them in the game, for example. And now, yeah, we're really lucky in Canada to have this aerospace sector. And, to allow people to follow their dreams, whether it be in the space field or something, completely different. We're really lucky. So
you're currently working in like the space exploration field, and you're part of the Eden ISS project. And it sounds really cool. I was researching it a bit before chatting. And so what qualifies you to be an astronaut? Obviously, this research that you're doing right now is one of the main contributors, but what else have you done?
Yeah, I hope that helps, Shane, my background. And most of the projects that I've been fortunate to work on have been projects where we've been able to develop either a technology or been able to be involved in science that we take into the field. So I've been fortunate to go to the Canadian Arctic 9 times, where we operated a similar facility, so to say, a greenhouse up there. I've been fortunate to fly in parabolic aircraft, so you might have heard of these aircraft that go up and they come right back down, and at the top you get about 20 seconds of microgravity where you can float around. And the other word for that airplane is the vomit comet. So that sort of gives you a sense of what can happen to people when they're flying those aircraft. And so from my perspective is sort of this participatory researcher, going with the science and engineering that you develop, and going to novel environments. And I think that's what an astronaut actually does, is they're the ones who get to ride on top of this very big pyramid of all these great people doing amazing things to support them, developing technology and science. And then the astronaut gets to fly in this novel environment, in this case, space.
Okay, awesome. So I want to thank you for joining me here. We're all out of time, but I hope the next time we Skype, it's going to be from space.
Hey, that'd be wonderful. Sign me up for that one, Shane. Yeah, and I look forward to the rest of the campaign. The other 31 candidates are amazing people, and the Canadian Space Agency is running a really great campaign, and I look forward to the next upcoming phases. So I appreciate your time as well today, Shane. Thanks.
If you'd like to follow Bamsey's progress with the Eden ISS project, you can find him on Facebook by searching Eden ISS. Matthew Bamsey is one of 2 candidates from Halton. Our second candidate, Alex DeLaurie, currently lives in Milton, and Shane Lansing will be meeting with him to see how he's coping with the candidate process.